Jordan Chariton is a new reporter hired by TYT, and he went to a Trump rally recently where he witnessed some very disturbing things. So I want to take a look here, and then I'll come back and break down exactly what's happening.
Eric, our producer and cameraman, also was shut down. He was periscoping from back there while shooting the actual event, and they made him shut that down. Eric was actually assigned a Trump staffer to shadow him and make sure that he would not shoot anything but Donald Trump.
We want low taxes. I got the taxes way down. Especially their voices so weak. I don't hear them. Okay, you can get them out. Get them out. I love my people. They say my people are the most loyal of anybody. I can do anything. They were trying to say, I didn't say a single thing. I said nothing. I didn't say anything.
Okay, so that woman who was kicked out at the end there, she maintained that she didn't say anything, and a different Trump supporter got up and started screaming and pointing at her and saying, "Get her out, get her out, get her out." Apparently, there was some sort of an announcement at the beginning of the speech or at the beginning of the event where if there's a protester that stands up and says something, everybody's supposed to point at them and say, Trump, 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 Trump. And he's had issues with protesters in the past. Protesters have not been treated very kindly at Donald Trump events. Black Lives Matter protesters were assaulted. You had a Muslim woman who stood up in protest wearing a shirt saying something like, "I come in peace." She was yelled at as she was dragged outside to leave because she's Muslim, and they're not very kind to those types of people in these rallies. So people are supposed to point and scream if somebody's protesting, "Get him out of here, get him out of here." Apparently that woman didn't say anything, didn't protest, was just sitting there minding her business. For whatever reason, somebody thought she said something, or they didn't like her, or whatever the case is, so they got up and started yelling and pointing at her as she's being taken out. So I didn't say anything. What do you want me to do? I didn't say anything. And the TYT reporter has confirmed that indeed that was true, that she didn't say anything. So this is a scary thing to witness, because what you're seeing here is kind of the textbook definition of a mob mentality, where it's like the fucking Salem witch trials. Guilty! We saw what you did. You're not human. You're one of the others, aren't you? You're not willing to fall in line and be in lockstep with the dear leader, Donald Trump. You get out, get out. And then everybody's cheering like, yeah! Oh, man. These are the people who, should be in control of the country. These are the people who should be making decisions. I mean, these are quite literally fascist tactics. Oh, you're a dissenter? Leave. In this case, the woman didn't even protest. Leave. And then these are the same people that will turn around and scream about the Constitution and freedom of speech. Now, I get it. This was a private event, so this wasn't a government event, so they have a right to kick people out if they don't want them there, yada, yada. But the principle of the thing is what matters here. He's running to become president of the United States, and he clearly does not respect dissension. And in this case, there wasn't even dissension, and they're all willing to hop on that bandwagon and say, one of the others, get out! And once you're viewed as an outcast, as a minority, oh, forget it. It's over. You're done. Fascist tactics all day long. Kick you out, marginalize you, treat you bad in every way, shape, and form. And then at the beginning part there, what you didn't see was they don't allow, the reporters to look at what's happening in the crowd. They don't want you recording any protesters. And if you do, and when they did, they said, you got to get out. Just for moving the camera in a direction that they did not approve. Again, I bring up a very basic question to you guys. Is this in line with the First Amendment? No, it's not. Now, again, you could say it's a private event. You know, they could do whatever they want in a private event. It's got nothing to do with the Constitution. That's technically true. If it's a private event, you have the right to make all these decisions. But do you think Trump events would be any different if, say, he became president of the United States? I mean, obviously, he'd have the Secret Service there as well. It's a given. But do you think all of a sudden he would become more moral and ethical, and he would, you know, hold back on his tactics here? There's another part where he kicks somebody else out and he says, don't give him his jacket. It's 10 below. Don't give him his jacket. This is a person who should be president? No, he's deeply authoritarian in his nature. And the idea of civil liberties or rights, it doesn't cross his mind. He doesn't think about that. Let me think about oppressed minorities and how, you know, how justice is supposed to be blind and it applies to everybody, even people who disagree with me. No, he's going to say, you disagree with me, you're out of here. You're done. I'm going to lock you up. It's over. You pointed the camera in the wrong direction. We're going to, you know, whatever. Find a way to use the law against you if you're a corporation he doesn't like or a news agency. Fascist Tactics 101. Authoritarian Tactics 101. Honestly, you know who he reminds me of? Erdogan. Erdogan in Turkey, the Muslim fundamentalist authoritarian maniac who's been stealing power left and right, changing the Constitution. He thinks he's God's gift to this earth, but he's just a insecure little bitch who wants to micromanage everything, locking people up for making fun of him, for comparing him to Gollum, a Lord of the Rings character, for tearing down a poster of him. He locked a kid up for tearing down a poster of him. That's who Trump is. Trump is our version of Erdogan. You don't want that, man. That's deeply un-American, and he's showing you here at his events with his staffers and how they act. They're gonna be authoritarian. They're not gonna care about your rights. They're not gonna care about freedom of the press or free speech. If you disagree with the dear leader, he and his mob will come after you.